allegedly with none other than Kevin Stefanski with the locker room. Basically, people were saying the reason Kevin Stefanski's gone because he lost control of the locker room. People ain't feeling him. Now, it's no secret that Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees was very, very close, bruh. Now, we think a lot of iffy things going on, man, with Tommy Rees regarding Shedeur, too, dog. Like, he seemed like he was on the Kevin Stefanski hype line, bruh, when it comes to this whole Shedeur not receiving first team reps, when it comes to Shedeur and the whole Dylan Gabriel battle.
Well, we talked to Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Rees today all about Shedeur Sanders and what he has planned for Shedeur on Sunday. He's expecting some really, really good things from Shedeur on Sunday, based in part on what he saw when he went in there in the second half against the Ravens. He liked the fact that he hung in there, that he fought, and that he gave the Browns a chance to win at the end. He did what quarterbacks are supposed to do. He put the ball in the end zone on that 2-minute drive at the end of the game with a chance for the potential game-winning touchdown.
He thought he could spin the narrative. He thought he could blame the rookie. But Tommy Rees just made the biggest mistake of his career. Breaking news tonight. The Cleveland Browns have terminated Tommy Rees for cause. Literally minutes after he lied to the media. While Rees was trashing Shedeur's work ethic to reporters, Shedeur hit the live button. He played a recording from a Week 10 offensive meeting, where Rees is clearly heard saying, "Guys, I don't know what to call. He's too talented for this system. I'm holding him back because I don't understand his game." It gets worse. Witnesses say Jimmy Haslam saw the leak, stormed into the media room, and ended the press conference himself. I have the report on how Rees was escorted out of the building, and why this might ruin his chances of joining Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. Subscribe and hit the bell right now. If you want to see what happens when you cross the Sanders family, click that button. Let's hear the audio. Here is the lie that ended Tommy Rees' career in Cleveland.
Now, along with Harbaugh, it seemed Cleveland had crossed their own offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, off the list of potential head coaches, according to Mary Kay Cabot. Now, it goes on to say, according to Mary Kay, notes it's unlikely that Rees will return to the Browns in any role at this point, joining the Cleveland Browns joining head coach Kevin Stefanski if he gets hired by a team and head coaching elsewhere. Now, it's pretty much stating that, like I told y'all, dog, Tommy Rees is Kevin's guy.
Tommy Rees did not want to get into, with good reason, like he's going to go, yeah, I love Jalen Milroe. Let's take him second overall. He praised Jalen Milroe, but he's not going to get into who he does and doesn't like. But he is an invaluable source in that building, having coached at Alabama and before that at Notre Dame for 4 to 5 years. Now, you got to look at who they played. It's not as if at Alabama in 23, they played Cam Ward. They didn't.
The shocking truth has finally been dragged out of the Cleveland Browns organization. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees is completely out. Not just eliminated from the head coach search, but according to sources, he's likely gone from Cleveland in any capacity. This isn't just a simple personnel move. This is a full-scale dismantling of the old regime. And it's the ultimate vindication for everyone who said the Browns' supposed quarterback competition was a lie. A few months ago, Tommy Rees was hailed as a rising offensive genius, a young coaching prodigy with experience at Notre Dame and Alabama. Now, he's been completely blackballed, and the reason for this abrupt exit is the explosive evidence that he was part of an active conspiracy to keep Shedeur Sanders on the bench. This was a cleansing. And the dark truth behind Rees' downfall is about to be unveiled. Rees was more than just the offensive coordinator. He was Kevin Stefanski's guy.
Rees regarding Shedeur too, dog. Like, he seemed like he was on the Kevin Stefanski hype line, bruh, when it comes to this whole Shedeur not receiving first team reps, when it comes to Shedeur and the whole Dylan Gabriel battle. I believe Tommy Rees kind of played a factor in Shedeur not getting those first team reps. Now, I could be wrong. This is just my personal opinion about the whole matter. The article goes on to say Cleveland Browns general manager Andrew Berry continues the head coach search with Jim Schwartz interviewing again. Now, Tommy Rees is out.
The two were deeply close. Stefanski handpicked Rees, brought him into the NFL, and made him the play caller. Their loyalty was a unit. But behind that loyalty, a quiet, persistent rumor was poisoning the locker room. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie who showed flashes of greatness, was getting practically zero first-team practice reps. This wasn't a mistake. It was, according to sources, an active, conscious decision, a calculated strategy from the top. Rees seemed to be on the Stefanski pipeline, supporting the decision to deny Shador opportunities, all while lying to the media and the fans about a legitimate quarterback battle. This was about personal allegiance overriding the team's best interests, and what happened next would shock the entire locker room. The word competition was a cover story, a sham. The coaching staff, including Rees, pushed the narrative of a fair, merit-based battle between Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. But here is the jaw-dropping detail. How do you compete when one player is getting almost all the first-team snaps, and the other is barely getting any time with the starters? Shedeur wasn't out-competed. He was excluded from the competition itself. And to make matters worse, when Shedeur did finally get on the
is that Tommy Rees potentially will be not in Cleveland for the 2026 season. Now, like I stated, more information is coming out as to why Tommy Rees has been eliminated from this head coaching search, because pretty much he done, bruh, forced the head coach. Now, as of right now, he's still listed, as of today, the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. Now, that could change in the next coming week.
He was running an offense designed and called by a man, Tommy Rees, who sources say didn't even want him playing. How is a young quarterback supposed to succeed when his own offensive coordinator is a loyal foot soldier for a head coach who actively seemed to be sabotaging his development? The entire situation was raked from the start. That deep-seated dysfunction didn't stay locked away in the coach's offices. It infected the entire locker room. Reports quickly surfaced of friction and players not feeling the Stefanski loyalists. They could sense the energy was off. They could see that Rees was more concerned with staying loyal to his mentor than with doing what was right for the team and its future franchise quarterback. The players were talking, and those words started getting back to the owner, Jimmy Haslam. The truth about Rees's role in denying Shador reps was finally coming to a head, proving the conspiracy theories to be true. Tommy Rees chose protecting his mentor over the franchise's future. But the ultimate sign of a broken culture came when the players loudly and publicly endorsed a completely different coach. The elimination of Tommy Rees becomes even more exposed when you look at the coach who survived, defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. While Rees was shut out after one interview, Schwartz was getting a second one, an emergency effort to lock him in before other teams could poach him. Why the complete reversal? Because Schwartz has the locker room. Player leaders, including Pro Bowl cornerback Denzel Ward, came out publicly to vouch for him, saying they would highly...
Goes on to say, I have much respect for Jim Schwartz. Pro Bowl cornerback Denzel Ward stated this the day after the season. I would highly recommend Coach Schwartz for a head coaching job if he definitely get a chance to. So that was Denzel Ward actually speaking about Jim Schwartz being the next head coach. But
recommend Schwartz for the head job. The choice for ownership was clear. A supposed rising genius who allegedly sabotaged the franchise quarterback versus a culture builder who had the full public respect of the players. Haslam chose the coach who had the team's faith, eliminating the one who had enabled the dysfunction. Here's the most crucial, untold part of this story. Shedor's success despite the sabotage. When he finally got a chance, he won games, even with a depleted, injured roster and an offensive coordinator who allegedly kept him unprepared. He did that with minimal practice reps and without the fundamental support a developing QB needs. He was set up to fail, yet he showed resilience and winning talent. Now, ask yourself, if Shedeur could perform like that while running an offense designed by a coach who didn't believe in him, what could he possibly do with an offensive coordinator who is excited to develop him? What if he had proper coaching, tailored plays, and a whole offseason of first-team reps? The thought is mind-blowing. The coaches are gone, and Shedor's incredible journey of success proves we were right all along. For months, we were told we were making excuses for Shedeur. We were told he simply wasn't good enough. Well, guess what? The entire coaching staff.
An effort.
I just got to be honest with you guys. I'm excited to see it. Hopefully they get some good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Now, this is an article that Mary Kay Cabot released earlier today, kind of breaking down his Jim Schwartz second interview. And she goes in grave detail speaking about Tommy Rees. She stated he was there for a second interview for the job on January 8th, right after the Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Rees
That made those decisions is now being dismantled. Stefanski was fired, and his closest confidant, Tommy Rees, was not just passed over, but eliminated entirely, and is expected to follow his mentor out of the organization. This isn't a coincidence. It's a complete house cleaning. Jimmy Haslam, for all his past failures, deserves credit for removing this cancer from the building. The Browns are now reportedly pursuing offensive linemen and wide receivers, finally committing to building the offense around Shedeur Sanders for 2026. Rees's elimination wasn't just a firing. It was Cleveland's loud, clear declaration that the era of sabotage is over, and Shador finally has a chance to show what a true franchise quarterback can be. Do you think Tommy Rees got exactly what he deserved for his alleged role in the Sanders saga? And did Haslam finally make the right call, cleaning house completely? Drop your honest take in the comments right now. If you believe this marks a massive turning point for the Browns, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because this offseason is about to get wild.
I want to say the Browns are expected to interview other candidates for a second time next week. Former Browns and current Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken, who has a chance to join John Harbaugh as offensive coordinator with the Giants, is expected to interview with the Browns a second time as well this upcoming Tuesday. Monken also interviewed with the Bucks to return as an offensive coordinator and will either be a head coach or coordinator in 2026.